Welcome to Israel Now News. I'm Rebecca Roberts.
And I'm Yochanan El-Rom.
In our top story, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu responded to a United Nations vote supporting the unilateral recognition of a Palestinian state, saying there will be no Palestinian state west of Jordan. Netanyahu warned this move would serve as a reward for the brutal massacre of more than 1,200 people in Israel on October 7, 2023. Senior Hamas leader Osama Hamdan praised the recent victory at the UN, where 157 members unilaterally recognized a Palestinian state. In an exclusive interview with Al Mayadeen News in Lebanon, Hamdan hailed the victory as the result of the Al-Aqsa flood genocidal attacks in Israel nearly 2 years ago. U.S. President Donald Trump addressed the United Nations General Assembly, accusing its members of encouraging continued conflict by recognizing a Palestinian state. He demanded the immediate release of all of the hostages held by Hamas in Gaza and said instead of giving in to Hamas's ransom demands, we should be united with those who want real peace.
Israelis overwhelmingly support U.S. President Donald Trump's plan to evacuate, rebuild, and redevelop the Gaza Strip. A survey conducted by the Israeli Coalition for Regional Security found that a whopping 78% of Israelis say they would back the initiative if it would end the war, return all of the hostages, disarm Hamas, and pave the way for the separation from the Palestinians. The first phase of this plan has already been a huge success. Hundreds of thousands of Gazans have reportedly fled the Hamas-controlled enclave. The IDF continues to close in on the remaining Hamas leaders in Gaza City, where the Iranian-backed terror group is believed to be holding the remaining 48 hostages.
President Trump has formally invited Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to the White House after the United Nations General Assembly in New York. This will be the two world leaders' fourth meeting since President Trump began his second term. The Secret Service has already increased security at the White House in anticipation of pro-Hamas protests and crowds demanding the arrest of the Israeli Prime Minister for supposed war crimes in Gaza.
Prime Minister Netanyahu is sounding the alarm over Egypt's egregious violations of the 1979 Camp David Accords. That treaty was sponsored and guaranteed by the United States. Netanyahu briefed U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio on the situation during his recent visit to Jerusalem. According to Israeli intelligence sources, Egypt has extended the runways at its bases in the Sinai Desert to accommodate fighter jets. It also built underground bunkers that could be used to store missiles. Jerusalem has attempted to resolve these breaches through diplomacy, but Cairo has refused to provide a satisfactory answer for the Egyptian military buildup along Israel's southern border.
Dozens of people celebrating the high holiday of Rosh Hashanah in Eilat last week were injured when the Houthi rebel army launched an explosive-laden drone on a popular tourist destination in the Red Sea port city. The low-flying projectile reportedly evaded 2 interception attempts before exploding near a crowded shopping mall, injuring 48 people. This comes just days after the Houthis claimed responsibility for a drone attack that caused an explosion at the entrance to a hotel in Eilat. The Houthis in Yemen have fired more than 90 ballistic missiles and dozens of explosive drones at Israel over the last 6 months, and Israel's Defense Minister Israel Katz warned of devastating consequences for the Iranian proxy army. Katz said the Houthi terrorists refuse to learn from Iran, Lebanon, and Gaza, and they will learn the hard way.
Syrian leader Ahmed al-Sharaa says his regime is afraid of Israel and does not want conflict with the Jewish state. Sharaa led a jihadi army in the overthrow of Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad last December, prompting Israel to attack Assad's chemical weapon stockpiles and establish a buffer zone in the war-ravaged country. The new president is demanding that Israel withdraw from the area and cease targeting strikes on Islamic militias operating in southern Syria. U.S. Special Envoy for Syria Tom Barak confirmed that Damascus and Jerusalem were close to striking a de-escalation agreement that demands that Syria not move machinery or heavy equipment near the Israeli border.
The Israel Defense Forces confirmed they have moved a treasure trove of ancient Christian artifacts in Gaza to a safe location. IDF troops discovered a warehouse filled with ancient items as they were clearing a Hamas compound slated for destruction in Gaza City. The army contacted the owners of the facility and worked with the French Biblical Archaeology School in Jerusalem to safely remove the historical objects from the Gaza storeroom. The building housed over 180 meters of artifacts uncovered in excavations throughout Gaza.
The Trump administration has submitted a request seeking $6 billion in weapon sales to Israel. Leaders of the House Foreign Affairs Committee and the Senate Foreign Relations Committee must first okay the deal before sending it to Congress for final approval. The sale reportedly budgets $3.8 billion for Apache helicopters, $1.9 billion for infantry fighting vehicles, and $750 million for parts for armored personnel carriers.
Israel's Ministry of Defense has announced it has successfully completed trials of the Iron Beam defense system and is prepared to deploy it in the field. Rafael Advanced Defense Systems confirmed that this cutting-edge defense program will be called Eitan's Beam, in memory of Captain Eitan Oster, who was killed in battle in Lebanon. The laser dome has already proven its effectiveness against UAVs on the Lebanese border, but testing has also shown its ability to intercept rockets, missiles, and mortar shells. Eitan's Beam will cost just a few dollars per interception, compared to around $30,000 for each Iron Dome interceptor missile.
Israeli Tourism Minister Chaim Katz has made the Jewish state's first official visit to Tajikistan. Katz participated in the United Nations Tourism Investment Forum in the Central Asian nation. The Israeli minister met with Tajik leaders on the sidelines of the event and signed a memorandum of understanding for bilateral tourism between their countries. Tajikistan has held diplomatic ties with Israel since 1992, and this new agreement will strengthen relations between Jerusalem and Dushanbe. Katz welcomed the advancement, saying tourism provides a unique opportunity for international cooperation. The Minister of Tourism also confirmed that during the forum, he was warmly received when he met with representatives of several countries that do not hold official relations with Israel.
More than 100 foreign operatives, including dozens of female Israeli Mossad agents, infiltrated the Islamic Republic and were on the ground during the 12-day war. These assets provided critical intelligence and support to the IDF, and many of them destroyed missile launchers and air defenses before Israeli planes crossed into Iran. The mission to destroy Tehran's rogue nuclear program was the Mossad's largest and most complex mission to date. Experts believe that Tehran's atomic ambitions were crushed by precision Israeli and American strikes. The intelligence that made these strikes possible was gleaned by years of espionage inside the enemy state, coordinated with the Iranian resistance. While most of the details of the mission are still classified, the Jerusalem Post has confirmed that dozens of female agents risked their lives to destroy the Ayatollah's nuclear weapons program, destabilize the tyrannical regime, and eventually free the people of Iran.
In medical news, Israeli neuroscientists have developed a blood test to determine the effectiveness of antidepressant medications. Researchers hope the blood test will create a platform for the personalized treatment of mental disorders. This is especially promising in the field that heavily relies on the trial and error method for finding effective treatment. Dr. Talia Cohen-Solal, one of the senior developers for Israeli healthcare startup NeuroCare, explained that the guessing game of identifying the right drug for a patient with clinical depression can typically take between 12 and 18 months. She believes that NeuroCare's technology will bring that time down to just 2 months.
The Jewish people will begin the observance of the Day of Atonement this week. From sundown on Wednesday evening until after sunset on Thursday, Jews will fast and pray for forgiveness from God. Yom Kippur is the holiest day on the Jewish calendar, when the entire nation of Israel collectively afflicts their souls by refraining from food and water and stand together to pray for deliverance. The days leading up to Yom Kippur are known as the Days of Awe, where the Jewish people recite special slichot prayers and request forgiveness for any wrongdoing from others, so that by the Day of Atonement, they will be humble when they ask for forgiveness from God.
Before you leave, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Also, we would love to hear how the Lord is moving and touching your heart right now. So be sure to comment below and then share this video with someone you feel needs it just as much as you did.